Simpsons Index, an online spreadsheet that is also a podcast. This is the podcast.
Coming to you out of SideQuest Studios, this is the Simpsons Index, episode 315. Hello out there, I'm your host, Elliot Jay O'Neill, joined here as always, except when he's not, by BT Calloway.
Oh,
And joined by returning champion, David Cooper.
Heidi-ho, neighborinos. But returning by popular demand, I assume.
They've been knocking down our doors. When are we going to get more Cooper?
So we had to get new doors.
I get messages every day. When am I coming back on the Simpsons Index? Here I am. Your people have spoken.
Ravenous dogs.
People are such big fans of your drawing, but it's really, they're drawn to your voice.
That must be my radio voice.
But yes, for those that don't remember or newcomers to the podcast, David Cooper, you're a Simpsons artist, but not for the show. You've been doing this project for 3-4 years now of
just
drawing.
Hit 4 years.
Wow. Yeah, drawing a different Simpsons character every day, working through the show chronologically. We had you on our show 3 years ago now, where you were part the way through season 1, and now you're just about to finish season 2.
That's right. Yeah, it's definitely a lot slower than reviewing an episode per podcast. It's taking me about 2 years a season at the moment, which means. What's that, about 72 years in total it'll be by the time I catch up with the show? I mean, they just announced season 40, didn't they?
Yeah.
I have to leave this legacy to my grandkids.
Well, the episode we're covering today is talking a lot about, expectations on your kids and, get them drawing now.
Gotta get them in.
I know, I'll be very sad if my son doesn't start drawing Simpsons characters soon and following on my legs. I'll be the Marge.
Yeah. But before we get into the review proper, so you have an interesting relationship with the show, because we normally ask at the start of the podcast for our returning guests, where are you at with the show? You're watching new episodes, revisiting classics. So in your process of drawing one character at a time and like all the sort of, what's the criteria? It's any character that had a speaking line? Yeah,
they have to speak and they have to appear on screen, because obviously otherwise what else would I draw?
Yeah, you can't draw nothing.
And then I end up just, on the side drawing a bunch of the background characters and the weirdos and all that sort of stuff.
There were some weird ones in those early seasons. My God.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of mutants.
Because I'm still in the Class B Chupo era, there's a lot of just weird, like, characters they wouldn't get away with now on the show. Beard lines that shouldn't exist, that kind of thing.
No. Like famous fucked Simpsons background characters like Giraffe Neck Lady and...
The two guys who the top of their heads are welded together.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got the Bart Simpson heads, but they're welded together.
Yeah, they're joined. Ugh.
Yeah. So how are you consuming the show these days? Are you only watching the episodes that you're working on, or are you veering off course and checking out others? How are you watching the show at the moment?
It's mostly it's been season 2 ones recently. If one's on, if I'm like in a hotel room and there's a show, an episode on the TV, I'll give it a go. Why not? But for the most part, going through it like frame by frame is probably enough for me at the moment. I'll check in occasionally if I hear they've done something interesting, like Serious Flanders, that kind of thing. But no, I'm not watching it regularly.
No, well, like, I really admire your way of doing that, because, and we had an artist on the other week as well, and we realized, we actually haven't been able to sort of talk that much on this podcast about the art of The Simpsons. Have there been any moments like revisiting these classics where you just go, oh my God, that frame is a painting? Like
tons, it's a show where the writing gets most of the focus, and understandably so, obviously, because it's revolutionary in that aspect. But you go back, especially because like traditionally animated shows don't really exist anymore. So you can go back and see how they did this in the early 90s on the cell animation. The creativity they were bringing to it is really remarkable. Like fantasy sequences, dream sequences, that kind of thing, where they'll like completely shift the style or the color palette or whatever. It's genuinely been quite useful to me as a visual artist to just see how they would approach these problems. And it's not something that people think about, but the visual aspect was also like the fact that they're yellow is something we all take for granted.
Yeah.
But like,
but at the time,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, well, I mean, because especially you recently covered the episode The War of the Simpsons, which, yeah, has that iconic scene of Homer's memory of the party and, like, that particular coloring and everything like that. And, yeah, that's what I love about following you on Patreon and all the socials and stuff, and just sort of getting these glimpses of these episodes and being like, oh, yeah, that scene is just so rich and inspired and looks so good. And seeing it lovingly presented in your style is, it's really cool, man.
Yeah, just the idea of how do you accurately portray an unreliable memory. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut him.
Yeah, there's a fun aspect to that where it's like, I'm not just copying the Simpsons style, I'm trying to add a bit of my own flair to it as well. So it's this weird kind of mesh of what did they do versus what I can bring to it. It's really fun.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing that you've started in the time since we last had you on is your ongoing comic of Mole Man.
Oh, yeah, Legend of the Mole Man.
The epic saga.
Yeah. Can you tell the people more about that? Yeah.
That was just a fun idea that I had. Like, what if Hans Mole Man was in a fantasy realm fighting monsters? And it was one of those things where I was like, this is so stupid. And after a week, I was like, this is so stupid, I have to do it.
Oh, yeah.
And it's the sort of thing that you could easily do it as, like, you know, a 10-page comic. Oh, Hans Mole Man goes and fights some monsters. But it's way funnier to me if it's like this sprawling epic that's taking like several years to complete. I do one panel a day. I upload one panel every day. And we're up to 450-ish panels now.
Wow.
And I feel like I've barely gotten started. I want this to be like, you know, Lord of the Rings for stupid Simpsons fan comics.
That's so awesome, man. And yeah, for those curious out there, search David Cooper on all the things and we'll have links in the show notes for that. But yeah, for now, let's hook into this episode review. We just watched Season 32, Episode 20, Mother and Child Reunion. First released in May of 2021, directed by Jennifer Moeller, written by J. Stewart Burns. In this episode, it's another future jump, and we get a bit more of the knowledge of Lisa becoming the President of the United States and the difficult journey with her and Marge along the way. Hey, y'all, what did you think?
Is right. I thought it was good ideas, kind of not well executed.
Yeah.
Mixed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because last time we had you on, David, you know, we covered one episode that often appears in the, like, you know, anyone who's doing a list of the best of the new, you know, with Halloween of Horror. That was a really inspired idea to do a Halloween episode outside of the Treehouse format.
Yeah.
And this one could have been more inspired to, you know, because Simpsons have got a history of future jump episodes and they've got their own canon now. And yeah, this one sort of bridging the gap of how Lisa becomes president is an interesting idea, but in execution.
Is this broadly sort of in line with the other future ones?
I mean, there are
like,
some...
even like canon-wise.
That's such a mixed bag.
I know, some constants, some variables.
Yeah.
I mean, I like that Jacked Millhouse is a constant now. So that's been established in the future.
Yeah. It's such a small part of this particular episode. Like when Milhouse showed up for that one bit, I was like, oh, so he's going to be a through line.
No.
But I guess that's just to kind of connect it to the overall future timeline. I don't know.
Yeah, it feels very much like, hey, kids, we remember our own jokes. And yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, as far as the future jump episodes, because a lot of them have been sort of confusing messes where it's just like, okay, you're referencing this bit, but also you're pretending that we don't pay attention to the canon. And like, there's a really good, I don't know if you've seen it, David, a season 23 episode, I want to say, where, it's a future jump thing and Bart and Lisa have kids. And especially there's this one scene of them getting drunk on wine in the treehouse together. While they're taking a break from, their kids and their parents. And, like, Homer gets along better with Bart's kids than he ever did with Bart. And so there's, like, some really nice emotion stuff going on in that one. But, for this one, like, it just left me so flat. I don't know about you guys.
Flat's right for me. Like, I think there's these two concepts at the core of it. There's, like, Lisa's crisis about not wanting to go to college and what meaning does her life have. And then also separate from that, there's the Marge Lisa conflict. And like neither of them are kind of fleshed out enough for me. I think they kind of slot well together, but there's not enough room for either of them to play out fully. Like, there's this whole thing with Lisa, worried that she's kind of wasted. She's climbed the top of the mountain. There's no more hills left to climb. What good does college do for her?
Yeah.
And then she kind of resolves that halfway through without much fanfare.
Yeah.
I feel like that could carry a whole episode, but it just kind of fizzles out a wee bit.
Yeah, I think reactions to this is it's a mixed bag of, oh, okay, and also, oh, okay. And really, that's what I'm going to sell this one on.
But yeah, because when the third act resolution comes around, I just had this massive feeling of the writers being like, well, let's just get this done because we want to go to lunch and done. Like, yeah.
See, I thought the mother translator concept was a good gag.
Yeah.
But I feel like it should have been seeded in a wee bit earlier. If you'd done, like, halfway through the episode, if you do that for comedy, and then you do it again at the end for emotional stakes, I feel like that'd be good.
Yeah, or like there's a bit where Lisa's like, oh, why can't you understand? I need a mother translator. And then later on, she finally has one now that she's president. I'll also say the mother translator got me the biggest laugh of the episode with the last line of, it's like, you can go now, and she just translates to, that translator is amazing. She deserves a raise.
Yeah, I like that.
All right, well, let's hook into this one proper. BT, we'll start with you. What stands out to you from this episode, for better or worse?
Look, it's the glaring thing that kind of holds over this is Marge and how the episode portrays her feelings towards Lisa and specifically college, which I don't think is really earned or anything we've ever seen for her before, where it's like, you're going to college, right, Lisa? We've been living our whole lives up to this moment. And she's got kind of two rants, and one is awful and I think very anti-Marge, and one is a lot better. The second one works a lot more where, in the first one, she's like, let me find my note here.
Well, yeah, just on that, I was going to say, because recently we reviewed this episode called Dole Canada, where Lisa gets stuck in Canada because she's been offered asylum because America's so awful. And again, great. That was actually an episode we quite enjoyed, but like we had this thing with Marge in that one as well, where she was so aggressively patriotic in that one, in trying to get Lisa back home.
Yeah, to the point where she's like, shut up, you little traitor.
Yeah, and it just felt odd. Sort of similar with this one. Where...
Yeah, because she's got the line of Lisa's all like, and they're kind of holding off saying what college she's going to pick, and Marge's like, don't you know I've lived for this moment? And it was just like, have you ever? So the second rant is a little bit better because it's got Marge saying, when Lisa decides she doesn't want to go to any college, she's like, I wish you'd thought of that 10 years ago before we sacrificed and worked. I'm like, that is a lot more pushing the investment she has, but it just seems so very un-Marge to be like, hey, I brought around everyone and camera, so the entire family, to stand out front of the lawn and see which college you're picking. It just doesn't seem at all like something she would do.
I think it feels a bit off because in terms of the Lisa-Marge conflict, it's very much sided to be from Lisa's point of view. Like, if you had a couple more scenes where, Marge is sort of explaining herself a bit more, even to Homer or something, maybe it would play a bit better. But yeah, you're right. It's like she's portrayed as the villain, and I think the show wants it to be a bit more even-sided than it is.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, I mean, there's even a bit of confusion in terms of, she kind of yells at Lisa, oh, you need to go to college and live the life I never got. But then later on, when she says, oh, but what are you going to do and have kids one day? And Lisa says, I don't know if I'm going to have kids either. It's like, what? No college? No kids? You're going to live the life I wanted? And it's like, wait, which one was it?
Yeah.
Did you get to go to college but felt like it wasted your time or because of your family, or did you not get to go to college and miss out on opportunities? It feels like they forgot which one they were going for. Or maybe I got confused. I can't rule out my own confusion.
No, it was one of these, what we call a bit of a Teflon episode, where I almost needed to watch it twice because didn't really stick with me. But how about you, David? What's a moment from this episode that stands out to you for better or worse?
The Werner Herzog stuff really stuck out to me as kind of... I mean, it was fun, but it was weird.
Profoundly weird.
I was looking it up, and this is his 4th appearance on the show, I think, but the first time he's playing himself.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, because he's done a handful of characters.
Listen, I haven't seen the other ones. I'm sure he's just playing a thinly veiled Werner Herzog stand-in or something.
You get Werner Herzog for that exact voice.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was fun, but there's a lot of non sequiturs and oddness. I don't mind it, but I was like, this has very little to do with anything else.
Yeah, and there was some good visual gags all through that magic shop. There's starts off and it's got the sign that says, magic shop, 4 stars, pen, and then just quotations with nothing in it for teller.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, that was starting with a gag I quite liked.
That's good, yeah. And yeah, I saw a couple of others. A poster for a magician lady called Abracadabra. I got a chuckle out of that. And they had a reference to the math magician from Martin's Party episode.
Is that right? I missed that one.
Yeah. You can also see Love Potion number 8, reference to the song Love Potion number 9.
Ah, there we go.
But had to start with an 8 before you can get to 9.
That's true.
I'm pretty sure it's just ecstasy.
Oh, but yeah, with these wraparound segments as well to give the framing of the future jump some context. So yeah, we're going with the fortune teller route. This is, very Bart to the future. Yeah, this is one where I'm like, I think these took up a little too much time out of the rest of the episode, and it just sort of seemed at the sacrifice of the rest of the episode to just get as much Werner Herzog as you could.
They paid Herzog money. They're going to get it worth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, like, there's the bit with his son, and, like, he says how his son's a disappointment.
Yeah.
I was like, what is this? What has this got to do with it? I thought the son was going to come back later, and then he just never did.
No, it's true. Yeah, they just needed that joke of, you've heard of Steve Jobs. This is my son. Yeah. No Jobs.
But he does have a job. He's fixing iPhones. What are you talking about? But then, he mentions that in his future he'll wind up dead in the dumpster behind the shop. And yeah, there's just so many of these things where I felt like they wanted to get as much dialogue out of Werner Herzog, even if the joke sort of, if they landed or if they didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Also, there's the kind of basic thing here, like, is Werner Herzog known for magic and fortune telling?
I haven't seen the entirety of his film library, but
yeah,
I don't
sure.
think so. Yeah, again, an interesting choice because he is and isn't Werner Herzog in this, because he is playing a character called The Amazing Herzog, which you could assume, but yeah.
I like that he seems to be having fun. He's up for it. He's obviously poking fun at himself.
Oh, yeah. And that's why I love seeing Werner Herzog pop up in comedy shows like this because, so much of his work is so serious. And then just him having a bit of fun,
Yeah.
I don't think
that man can relax.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think it'll fully offset that, the Bear movie or whatever, but, it's great to hear his voice.
Mm-hmm.
And, I was just looking at his Simpsons appearances. Yeah, the Scorpion's Tail, do you remember that, where he's the scientist that synthesizes a drug where people's eyeballs end up falling out?
Oh, yeah, I remember that one. Oh.
Yeah. I think even The Simpsons referenced that in like a montage clip of things that really upset the fans.
Yeah.
He did Crystal Blue-Haired Persuasion, where Marge gets into crystals.
Oh, yeah.
He was the doctor in Screenless, where they go on a camp where you try to detox from your phone or whatever. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll get to these episodes 40 years from now.
Yeah, exactly. And what stands out to me, I actually appreciate the episode for not doing too many gags around wacky technologies of the future.
Yeah.
Like, because it's only like a 10-year jump, so they can't have things advance too much, because but also like the small choices that they made, like Marge's iPhone has like somehow 6 cameras shoved into that little square.
Yeah.
And Maggie can emoji her own face.
Yeah, that was confusing. It might just be the problem of we now live in the future that they, predicted back for Lisa's wedding.
Well, yeah, that was 2010. So.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we know what the technology is like, and it's nowhere near as interesting as we thought. It's just a lot of screens and QR codes. That's the future, kids.
I think it would be easier for them if they didn't have to have the it's set in the future aspect to it. If they could just be like, here's a story with a grown-up Lisa and an elderly Marge or whatever. But because they're never going to move the timeline forward, they have to, by default, set it in the future. So that's a wee nod to that. My favorite gag in that regard was in the food court, one of the shops, which is called Future Arby's. Like, it's so lazy that I love it.
At a certain point, they added the word future. I mean, there's a bit where Bart and Lisa are driving the car and there's a bunch of signs scrolling past, but one was Blockbuster, we're back. And okay. But that also kind of speaks to a lot of, those background jokes, just in case you're getting bored when you're being told exposition. And there's, Santa's little helper has like spider robot legs now. And Snowball, I think, had a little UFO. And it's like, I'm here for the emotional content you're providing in the foreground. I don't need the wackiness in the background, thank you.
Yeah, that was like my feelings towards the Bart Lisa driving scene is like, I was enjoying the sign gags, but yeah, I felt like it was totally that tactic of, oh, hey, if you're not interested in story development, here's some jokes. And it's
I definitely had to rewind to catch like either the conversation or the jokes. It's difficult to have both at the same time.
Yeah.
Whenever I watch an episode from the past 10 years, say, it is quite jarring to me how much stuff there is on screen just in the backgrounds. Like, it's a good opportunity to slip in some extra jokes, but it's like sometimes it's just visually quite assaulting.
Yeah, exactly. Like in the food court, like it makes sense because it's a food court, but it's also, a giant wall of text, like, and with a bunch of, half-baked jokes sort of buried in amongst it all. But I do appreciate that because we have seen in future Jump episodes, there is a tendency to do like, everything's robots now sort of thing, where this one... Like, and even to a charming level where, like, all the Simpsons, all their picture frames in the house are digital frames, and they're like, that's been a thing for a while now.
But the idea would just become more prominent or more even that.
The one that kind of annoyed me was it was in the scene where Marge is offering the brownies to Lisa, and Bart comes in with the VR thingy, and he's playing Fruit Ninja VR, and the joke is, isn't it crazy that there's a VR version of Fruit Ninja? But like if a VR version of Fruit Ninja had come out several years before this episode aired.
Yeah.
So it was like, that's not really a comment. You're just like, obviously it's not an advert, but it's like, this already exists.
No.
Well, it kind of almost felt like it was because like there wasn't even really any jokes in the actual when they did the VR thing. It was just, I don't know, that could be in Fruit Ninja for all I know. Like,
the joke was just like, he made a fruit salad, but...
Yeah, and it's just like, okay, I mean, he's playing Fruit Ninja, a game that exists in a format that exists. None of this is a punchline. It's just meant to be, isn't he? He's not successful because he's playing VR.
Yeah.
And later he's going to be a pot mogul.
Yeah.
Legally.
A pot CEO. And nice contrast to Lisa being a pot user, which, of course, is the acronym for President of the United States of America.
Yeah, we all know that.
It's apparently why the band actually, the Presidents of the United States of America, chose that name for them because it abbreviates to pot user. Yeah.
Right.
Great band. No one's probably thought about them for decades, but they're great.
Peaches.
Yeah, but in terms of the future Jump stuff, I did want to ask David, what did you think about the character designs that they chose for that?
I feel like I'm kind of... Are these particularly new ones? Because I feel like I've seen versions of them before in the casino episode... Like, I definitely noted that Lisa's wearing the purple suit, which I feel like was a thing in the casino episode. By and large, I feel like these are ones that looked familiar. Maybe they're just close enough to the classic designs. I'm just tricking myself into just thinking, like, they showed me a future version, I'll take their word for it.
Yeah, well, I mean, much like the sort of technology jokes were a bit restrained, same with the character models. I don't think they were as extreme as we've seen them in future Jump episodes, but I did sort of like some design choices, like, Marge has got sort of the graying blue hair coming up underneath, sort of same with Patty and Selma, and I got to admit, I enjoyed the design of Grandpa, even when I was sort of going, how could he still be alive? Like, I think they aged him up nicely. Yep. And I did enjoy the gag of, oh wait, eye patch is on the wrong eye. Oh, that's better.
Yeah, that was silly enough to be fun. There's one very strange shot when they're all in the garden waiting for Lisa to make her decision, and there's just that one shot where they're all looking directly out at her, and they've got big, round, shiny eyeballs. I didn't know what that was about.
Yeah, and they've really shaded in around the eyes, and I get what they're doing. They're making them look
creepy.
Yeah, they're meant to look ominous and creepy, but they look creepy in the wrong way. If that makes sense. Like, and instead of that intense, what are you going to do, Lisa? It's like up this. What are you going to do, Lisa?
Yeah, I got sort of shades of Bart versus Thanksgiving in that scene where, it's all your fault, but, like, that was a fantasy. Like, this one was a real. Like, well, technically it's Werner Herzog's fantasy, but I digress.
Aren't we all just living in Werner Herzog fantasies?
I hope so.
So, how was the wackiness in this episode? Were there any particularly cartoony moments that stood out to y'all?
I didn't write any down, so I'm going to say absolutely none whatsoever, and assume I was paying full attention at all times.
You know what? I tell you, the wackiest cartoon moment was the couch gag.
Yes,
with the birds.
Oh
yeah,
that was so strange. Like, I think it would be all right if they were just kind of Simpsonized versions of birds, but it's the fact that they had the human heads.
And like
starting off on a very disturbing moment.
This happens a lot where they have an okay idea, but then they add just a little bit too much. Like, Marge Bird comes in and kind of sits in the nest, and then Homer Bird comes in and crushes the eggs, and then I don't even, does he say anything or just laugh?
He just like scoops up some yolk and has a lick and goes, And then,
Yeah. And you're like, okay, yes, devour your own children there, Bird Homer. Already weirded out by the human heads on bird bodies. Now I'm confused. So, like, just have them sit in a nest as birds. That's enough.
Yeah, I gotta, contrasting that, yeah, I actually quite enjoyed it, but maybe it was just because there's actually so few couch gags in the 30s, David. Like, they, pretty much, most episodes just go, The Simpsons, bang, into episode. Like, to even see a truncated intro with, like, a small couch gag, because that's the other trend. Either it's no couch gag, or the couch gag goes for, like, 5 minutes. Like,
I mean, that's what we need. The Epic of Mole Man in couch gag form. Guest
I would
artist.
love that. I spoke to one of the producers a couple of years ago. I almost did a couch gag. I'm hoping they'll come back around at some point. Maybe once Mole Man's finished or something, they'll want to do that.
Very cool.
Yeah, well, I was just about to say, because I don't know if you know the Simpsons artist Spiker Monster, who, a few years ago they did the Simpsons Kids webcomics, and they got them to do a couch gag for them. So
yeah, that was lovely.
Yeah, the path is there. Oh, I'd love to see that. Yeah, the Mole Man fighting the fantasy monsters on the couch gag. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
The groundswell starts here.
Yep. This is where the campaign happens. Make it happen, Simpsons producers. We know you listen to our stuff. Probably.
Damn straight. They steal enough from us that we know.
One of the wacky things story-wise for me, and we see this a lot, Lisa's success at becoming a teacher just happens instantly.
Yeah,
and then almost as instantly, she's president now.
I know there's a middle section there that they just kind of gloss over. That's what I was saying earlier. The resolution to her mini existential crisis, just like, nope, we're done with that now. I could see a version of this where her becoming a teacher is the resolution to it, but it kind of takes her a bit more to get there.
Yeah, I think that's probably going to be the easier fix to this, is just have that, because her realizing going to college is going to mean what for me? I'm going to get lumped with student debt, and no one really cares about college and education, but you still need to have it just for reasons. The whole system's kind of collapsed. That's something someone who's been looking forward to their whole life, that's relatable. I understand that. The fact that wasn't the core conflict, to the point where it's also very confusing when we do the future jump ahead to when Lisa is president. Marge doesn't even know. And it's like, how could you possibly be that out of the loop that you didn't know your own daughter won? Like,
she was watching the episode and she kind of got a sandwich during that part.
Yeah. Weird.
Yeah, so bizarre. And it just doesn't seem like much of a fight either. Like, I think this leads perfectly into the heart of the episode as well, because they're like, again, for a Future Jump episode that's surprisingly not that wacky, and is more about this heart story between Marge and Lisa. It's sort of like, I don't feel like their reactions to the initial disagreement justify the point where Marge is ignoring Lisa so much that she apparently doesn't watch television or consume any media.
Decades of animosity that would have had to brood from this one thing. I guess you did the right thing, sweetie, because you're now a hugely successful lead of hundreds of schools across the country. No, it didn't resolve then. It didn't resolve when she became Super Nintendo. At no point. And it's just, surely you'd have checked in, you'd have talked. And if you wanted to have me saying going to college isn't just that, it's I need you to justify all those years of sacrifice we made for you, and that's the subtext of what I've been saying this whole time. That's something, but it fades from view for so quickly and for so long that it's, I don't know, you're just left with, but what are we doing?
I thought it was strange when Bart shows up at the White House and they have this kind of friendly reunion as if they'd had some fallout, and it's like that felt like it had the same amount of resolution as the Marge Lisa resolution. It's like, no, this wasn't a thing. Like, we haven't been shown that you guys were at odds.
Yeah, and you can kind of, stitch that together with some dialogue of just, I haven't seen you for a while, I've been really busy, becoming president, but it's also kind of weird that he's not the character model we see from the casino skip ahead future. But fine, they wanted to change that, whatever. Constants and variables, this is time travel for you. Yes, just could have just written a little bit of dialogue about, things were a little awkward with them because it's been so long. They've not talked, not out of spite or anything, but just because it's easy to drift apart in your adulthood.
I wonder if there's like an edit you could do where you take all the future episodes, string them all together and make it so that is the resolution to another episode, like a
Maybe.
3-hour epic.
Oh man, it's hard enough trying to string the continuity of most Simpsons episodes together, let alone like their future job one. Like the fact that this one doesn't stand out as one where, like, I guess the only thing that like doesn't track with the other ones we've seen is Lisa does indeed go to college in that first Future Jump episode, but whatever. This is the one we're doing this season. Sure, let's go with it.
Like it
didn't feel out of place, is all I'm saying.
It's easier to change the future, and especially one told you by various fortune tellers, than it is to talk about the past and how that doesn't quite line up.
Well, yeah, because I mean, at least it wasn't that one. I don't remember what it was called, Days of Future, maybe, where it starts out with Homer getting cloned and dying like 50 odd times.
Oh, yeah, weird.
Then he's a robot at the bizarre episode. Like, at least this one sort of felt somewhat grounded, if just leaving a little wanting. But ultimately, did it feel like an episode of The Simpsons? How's the integrity?
I mean, it's my problem still with Marge. I don't believe she was pushing Lisa towards college this hard, and I don't quite buy that she'd be this upset by her decision not to go. Like, surely Marge, of all people, would be like, follow your heart, sweetie. You know, I just want you to be happy. I think you can kind of justify it if you talk about all the work and sacrifice they took all over those years. And also there's a bit of, I mean, it does get justified a bit with Lisa in terms of, she's got lines like, I've always done what I thought other people wanted me to do. And it's like, you've always enjoyed learning and nerding out over things. And that's never been seen as pressure from if anything, your parents have ignored you rather than pushing you towards these goals. But I can get at a certain point, there was maybe a flip and that, you know, because she's bright, the smartest one amongst them, she got this extra pressure coming in over the years. It's just a few more lines of dialogue, a couple of different scenes, and you could have sold that to me a bit better.
I think there's a problem where, like, the writers want to fit in this idea of a parent being disappointed in their child, not approving of their choice. Something some of them have probably experienced. And, like, you can tell a good story with that. And it, by default, it makes more sense for Marge to take that role than Homer. Like, if you'd had Homer being like, I'm disappointed you didn't go to college, sweetie, that makes way less sense. So you just have to kind of tweak it a bit so that it works for Marge. Yeah,
because they do have this thread throughout the episode of, like, people putting all their hopes onto Lisa. And it's like an element that almost feels, I mean, it clearly exists, but it could have been a way more emotional part of the episode. And Lisa, feeling the pressure from her entire family who, sort of seem to be like banking on her success to help them out. Like,
I don't know the process of making episodes at this point, but this was probably written during COVID lockdowns and all that jazz. Maybe there's less people to bounce ideas off.
Maybe.
I'm making excuses for them here. I don't know.
Hard to know,
Well, I mean, May of 2021. So, this episode probably would have started production in the previous year, which was, that year. So, I think that's actually probably, a pretty good call. Makes a lot of sense. But yeah, I mean, J. Stewart Burns as well as the writer, like, he's a weird one because he's done some of, like, the best Futurama episodes, like My Three Sons, Mars University, Head in the Poles, Roswell That Ends Well. But then, his Simpsons... his Simpsons catalog is a lot less good. Actually, he did the Holidays of Future Past, that Future Jump episode that I was praising before. Okay,
right. There we go. He dabbles in the future a lot, is what you're saying.
Yeah,
maybe he used up all his favorite, like, this is the future jokes in Futurama and didn't have quite as many left over for these.
Oh yeah, he also did Days of Future, and he also was one of the lead writers on Simpsorama, the Futurama crossover. So.
Wow.
Yeah, there you go. The only other integrity thing I wanted to bring up is, Chalmers going full Trump here. Like, that doesn't exactly track for me, but if you're going to have a stand-in for him, like, sure, but that felt weird. Like, that just felt
It was very odd.
It did feel weird, yeah.
Yeah, you're clearly doing a Trump thing, and I don't know. It just felt like they were referencing their own Trump prediction thing,
of all parts of Lisa's journey to get to president, they stopped and dwelled on. Why that one? Like, it's enough of a joke to be like, and she's running against incumbent superintendent Chalmers. And it's like, oh, okay, there we go. But then to stop and have, this whole presidential style debate, which people are attending for the local school superintendent.
Well, yeah, because
it's a little weird.
Again, because they sort of blitz through, her success of establishing these schools to the pathway of her becoming president, I'm not actually sure what's happening here because at one point, she's on the news being told that she's running for governor, and that's where we get the other guest stars of this episode, people that I'm sure we do not know at all. George Stephanopoulos, who's a news broadcaster, and also Nate Silver, who's a professional statistician.
Okay.
Yeah. My understanding is that Nate Silver is a guy who made his career off of predicting who would win a lot of elections and being right a lot of the time. And now the politics is kind of a bit more crazy. He's gotten a bit less accurate, and people don't seem to like him as much. But I'm if you can't tell from the accent, I'm Scottish. I have barely any idea who he is either.
No. It's one of these Wikipedia pages I got open. It's such an interesting collection of things that he is. Yeah. Nate Silver is an American statistician, political analyst, author, sports gambler, and poker player who analyzes baseball, basketball, and elections. Sure.
All right. Yeah.
Quite a mixed bag.
I assume that his bit and George Stephanopoulos' bit are at least vague parodies of what they do normally, but...
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, well, the news thing, that was one of my laugh out loud jokes of the episode where I think it was George Stephanopoulos that went, and now she's running for governor of, and
yes, I did like that.
Yeah, of the many ways that Simpsons have obscured where they're from, that ranks amongst the high ones for me.
Yeah, that feels like one you get to do once with it being a joke, and every other time from that point on it'll be annoying, but to do once is, yeah.
No, it even reminds me of that old South Park bit where, there was a festival coming into town, but, they just kept changing the name of it. We're going to Lollapalooza. And, turns out I like gibberish in my cartoons.
Who would have known?
But yes or no, would you watch this episode again?
I'm legally required to in about 60 years. I don't see myself revisiting it before then, to be honest. But mainly because there's so many other ones I haven't seen.
And so many better ones. How about you, BT?
I mean, it'd be interesting to kind of compile all the future Jump episodes and see what stays constant, what changes. But out of a curiosity for that, which I don't think I would actually enjoy, I'm good.
No,
what about you, Elliot?
No, it's funny because... Yeah, again, one of the things that they have in the, critical response section of this episode is someone writing for Collider marked this episode as the 7th best Simpsons Future Jump episode. And, I think there's 12.
Yeah.
And that's sort of what this one feels like, real middle of the pack. And
it's a weird feeling to be 12, that's so many across 40 years.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But yeah, and especially if you're looking at Future Jump's episodes, there are so many more inspired ideas, one that we reviewed on our very first ever podcast, the episode Barthood, where they do Boyhood, but with Bart and, show him in year jumps and don't show the age of 10. That was a real inspired creative idea, whereas this one, it's inspired enough to show how Lisa did ascend to become president. We're going to use that as the canon here. But, again, they just sort of blitz through the story. And, it doesn't really give you much to return back to. But, how would we change it to make it more appealing and more rewatchable? BT, what would you like to do to change this episode?
I mean, I dare say you've hit the nail on the head. This is just kind of lacks a reason to exist. It's, lacking of inspiration for why we're here to begin with. There are ideas floating around, Lisa feeling the pressure of everyone's expectations of her, even maybe her own expectations of her, or just how the world has changed and college is not what it used to be. Those are interesting things to explore. I think the main thing I would want to stay away from is this rush to get to her presidency, because the plot stops after that. And we just left with all these weird questions like, how did Marge not know her own daughter was, headed for the White House, or all the rest of it? There's not really anything else that happens at this point. And if you're going to have an emotional resolution, you can do it earlier without losing anything. So you can still lay that track work and be like, now that I've made it to superintendent, I'm going to move for governor. And who knows, after that, maybe even president. And then title card joke of, and then that exactly happened.
Yeah.
But surely resolve this earlier when Lisa starts succeeding in this, becoming a teacher, setting up independent schools kind of thing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
How about you, David? What would you like to change about this episode?
Yeah, I agree with that. The presidency stuff really doesn't add a lot to it. I wonder if they wanted to add more in there because, there was a presidential election that just happened and maybe they just didn't find enough to mine. But I think ultimately it probably would have benefited them to pick a lane. Either do here's Lisa's problems with going to college and then resolve that by either finding another purpose, or Marge and Lisa are fighting because of her choices.
Yeah.
Where does that end up?
Yeah.
I think together there's just not enough room for either.
No, and that's sort of the lead up to the episode before, it felt like we just barreled through a bunch of story where, Lisa was doing what's the movie? How do I teach these kids?
I mean, a lot of them.
Yeah.
Just
the Robin Williams one.
Yeah, it's a bit Dead Poet Society. There's another one that I'm thinking of that, again, South Park parody, but whatever.
Yeah.
A movie
Dangerous
that I have not
Minds,
seen, but I've seen the cartoon. What was that, Paige?
I was going to say Dangerous Minds is one that springs to mind, but that's mostly because, Weird Al did a parody of the song from that. So,
yeah, and actually got Michelle Pfeiffer in the clip, I think.
I know. Yep,
Yeah.
totally did.
He's really the best. And I like this idea of exploring, college has become a sort of prohibitive thing, and a lot of kids out there are falling through the cracks and are not getting proper education, and sort of Lisa leading the charge to skip college in favor of bringing education to people that aren't getting it, is super interesting. And to kind of blitz through that story, I think, is a real sin of this episode, especially because the way she gets successful and reaches these kids is so painfully lame. And I'm doing TikTok dances to Shakespeare. It's just...
Yeah, but I even like the line of her incredible lameness has me riveted. I felt like they justified it for that.
The Macbeth TikTok dance rapping bit, I didn't think it was very funny, but I did think it was quite cute and lame, and that was kind of endearing.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. I just think they sold it as a joke, but then it's sort of because it works, and then all of a sudden she's president. Yeah, I just sort of, I wanted to exist in that a bit more. Stand and Deliver is the movie that South Park were referencing in their episode titled Eek a Penis.
Of course.
We really picked the wrong cartoon to follow and dig into.
I mean, we should have known.
Yeah, I think that's sort of just what I wanted a bit more of, just for them to follow that. And yeah, I like the idea of leaving the president thing as a tease at the end, or that is the climax of the episode rather than just barreling through what's got to be, I don't know, 15 years of stuff in a couple of minutes.
Or probably longer. So 25.
All right. Well, I think it's time for our final notes.
Now it's time, and I know it's time for our final notes. Jump to the future, final notes.
Oh, yes, we need a future music edition.
Yep.
David, do you have any other notes from this episode, bits that happened, scenes you want to mention before we move on to the rankings?
I think the only other thing I've got written down here is about adult Rod and Todd. I don't know if they've been in it before, but my goodness. This just added to the list of creepy things that happened.
Yeah, but at least that was creepy that felt like it was meant to be creepy.
Yes, I liked it, but I liked it, and I'm disappointed in myself that I liked it.
Yeah, I wanted to bring up actually that as well, because I have subtitles on, because sometimes, it's easy to watch that when you got someone else in the room or whatever. And Rod was actually spelled in all capitals as though it was, an acronym. So... Are we learning that Rod is in fact a cyborg, I don't know, robotic, orthodox
Here we go.
Dude?
I don't like this story.
Again, it was prophetic.
Yeah, but I mean, that was genuinely another laugh out loud moment for me. Just the deep voice of, it's 6 o'clock, it's time for bed. Yay.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Father, can you bring the monster spray?
Yeah. No, a much better joke than in the Bart to the Future one where Flanders is blind and they're closeted and polishing furniture or whatever. I liked this one a lot better.
Yep.
How about you, BT? Any other notes?
I got a couple. Let's see. I gotta read my own scratch handwriting here.
If only you could get subtitles for that.
Yep. Okay, a joke. Yeah. If I could get subtitles for my own life, my gosh. I'd stop mishearing people. It'd be great. Yep. So a joke I really didn't like is, Bart gets Homer in a straitjacket, and then Homer's like, the more I pull, the tighter it gets. The only solution is more pulling. Like, for fuck's sake.
Yep. Another bit that I was going to mention as one that, it took way too long, took up too much time, wasn't funny. Like,
yeah, because all that exists for is for Marge to go, are these two ever going to stop fighting? And Werner Herzog, well, I can show you the future where they stop.
Yeah.
We will see in the tarot cards.
Because I hadn't settled into what the episode was yet, I hadn't realized that was basically the only point at which there are Bart Homer hijinks. Obviously, Homer kind of, for the most part, disappears from the episode after, in the future section. So it's let's give Homer something to do, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we had a lot of episodes where Bart or Lisa will get one line in the sense that, okay, they must be contractually obligated to get one line to get their paycheck. So maybe that was this for Homer. Who knows? That said, I like the transition when he starts pulling out all the tarot cards and it's the Simpsons house and it transitions through that. I thought that looked pretty cool. It did.
From a technical standpoint, I was trying to figure out how they did that, because that's straight out purely from if I had the software open, is this layers and it kind of was a magic trick to me.
Yeah, looked great. I think maybe went slightly too long, but overall, worth it. It was good.
Yeah, it's a fresh, creative way to do an establishing shot in an episode where you're doing a future reading tarot in this case. And I thought the designs on the tarot cards were all pretty solid and funny and looked quite good.
That worked. Okay, a little bit of heart moment, but just picking up Lisa from one of her last days of high school. It was cute.
But again, time-wasting bits just nicks the whole Millhouse promposal thing.
Yeah.
Using Kirk as Seth MacFarlane as Frank Sinatra, and then he wasn't any of those. He just sort of did a bad Fly Me to the Moon parody, which took fucking ages, and there were no good jokes in it. Just fucking nicks this. It was so bad.
Yeah. I like Marge's bit, which is like, what do I do? Repress my rage? Let it out? No. I'm going to go yell into the dryer. And then you just get the decent sound effect of the tinny echo of her yelling into the dryer. Yeah. And I also like the return montage. We go through this montage of all the times Lisa was studying rather than having fun. And then probably the best heart moment of this is we do, Bart's like, but maybe, she was always helping you out in ways you didn't even think about, and cut back to the same sequence, but you see things like Lisa's reading at the beach instead of, enjoying the sand, and Marge is putting on sunscreen and stuff like that. I'm like, okay, that's a very good way to do it. It doesn't, we've already future jumped too far and lost too much. It could still work even if you didn't jump to the presidency.
Yeah, you've reminded me. That's actually something I was going to add to the what would you change question, is that, and in spending more time with Lisa establishing her schools and whatever, my idea for that was for her to realize she actually needs Marge's help in this, and then she ends up becoming a part of that business, because
it'd be like, you're going to do that. You not even going to college like I wanted you to, and now you want me to help you. This thing I think is a bad idea. Yeah. That's good.
And I only had a couple of other notes. I want a 3D pancake printer.
We all do.
That looks like some good technology. That'd be horrendous for me. The big reveal that Lisa does not like Marge's brownies.
That felt harsher to me than Marge's rants against Lisa. What?
Yeah.
I like this weird through line that Marge's desserts are somehow terrible. Put this with the, what's wrong with my sundaes?
Yeah. Well, to be fair, walnuts in brownies is fucking disgusting.
Yeah.
Ooh, hot takes.
I like Flanders' line of where they were like, is Lisa joking? And he goes, nobody knows comedy like I don't know comedy. And she is not joking. I'm like, that's a good Flanders line. And I liked his design as well, with the grey slowly creeping in on his mustache as well. Again, good designs in this one. I liked that Chief Wiggum ended up being one of her students for a brief moment. I thought that was a pretty good gag.
And the kid taking the gun from him as well. I like that bit.
Oh, yeah.
It's dark, but it's funny.
Yeah. Homer asked in the future, are there any more Ghostbusters movies? And when I heard it go, there's 4, but the gay one's the best. And it feels like we're living in that's our present right now, but sure.
Yep.
Lisa, when she is president, goes, the transitional tantrums are just getting longer and longer. And then you hear a Wilhelm scream. So I'm like, they saying that there was a President Wilhelm?
I guess. Or someone who could just do a perfect Wilhelm impression.
And that's how they tantrum,
Yeah.
But yeah, when he sees Lisa as the pot CEO, and his brand of cannabis is high carumba, and he goes, yeah, it's okay. Pot's legal and still cool. I don't know. I just thought that was a really funny line. Yeah, the drones from Russia congratulating Lisa was weird. I don't know if I got that joke, if there is a joke there.
It was more just to set up the fireworks saying, was it government brought to you by Disney, I suppose.
Yeah, which is very, not as Simpsons predicted it, but very, like, weirdly prescient given the last week with Jimmy Kimmel and everything. That's, yeah, no good. And that's all I got to say about that. All right, it's time to rank this thing. On the Simpsons Index, we rank using a 6-point scale, which starts down the bottom at failure. Maybe if the episode was just meh, you give it a participant. But for the positive rankings, you got okay bronze, good silver, excellent gold. But for the best of the best, you give cubic zirconia. I'm going to go first. Let me show you how it's done. Man, I'm almost tempted by a bronze just because it's a very inoffensive episode, and like there's not much like rallying me against it, but man, it really slipped from the brain, and for the few good jokes that's there, I still can't give it any more than a participant. BT, what do you reckon?
I'm very much on the same page. I want to give it a bit more because it does have, quite a few jokes I thought were pretty good, but ultimately it's wasting its own promise, much like Lisa. And that, there's some interesting storylines here that just don't get fleshed at all. Or don't even really get the potential to breathe. So
yeah.
And it just becomes, not bad, just Teflon. It's going to slip from the brain.
For real. All right, David, please finish it off.
I kind of agree with you guys. Like, I want to be positive about it, especially if I'm going to get that couch gag in a couple of years. But I probably have to go down in the participant bronze field. I don't regret my time watching it, but like I said, I probably won't revisit it.
So was that a participant or a bronze?
We'll go participant.
All right, and popping that number into the Simpsons Index spreadsheet.
Calculating.
Because, this is our last season 32 episode to review as well.
Oh my gosh.
And that has given us a score of an overall shiny participant for the season 32. It's currently our 23rd best season. It's somewhere in the middle at this stage. But yeah, like these 30s, all those Simpsons back articles, they're full of shit. But like, having said that, the highs in the 30s are higher than they've been for a while. And, at the end, we like to sort of highlight some of the better episodes from the season.
Yeah, I remember scrolling through the list, getting to this episode and being like, nah, that's bad. This one was good. Which one was that?
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's, quite a few silver ranking ones in this season for us. Like Undercover Burns, where Burns goes undercover in the nuclear power plant in a David Harbour suit.
Yes. Better episode than it sounds.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, that sounds pretty good.
Yeah. And we enjoyed Icarumbus, where they sort of do a mishmash of various Roman tales told with the Simpsons, very Bible stories or tall tales sort of style. Yeah, some good character designs in that one as well. We shiny bronzed podcast news, where Marge and Lisa get into true crime podcasts and Yardley Smith stars as Yardley Smith in it. It's
weird.
Truly bizarre. Bringing it back to Super Nintendo Chalmers, The Road to Cincinnati, we quite enjoyed that, where it's like a road trip episode with Skinner and Chalmers. That was, quite a good time. Also, recently reviewed Panic on the Streets of Springfield, where
that's right.
Lisa falls in love with a Morrissey type that's definitely not Morrissey. He's Quillaby or something, but he's definitely not Morrissey, but sort of is. And then, is disappointed when she actually sees the guy in the current day, and he's offensive and
he's not Morrissey.
Yeah. Oh, and also the last bar fighter, the last episode of this season, where they basically do John Wick, but it's Mo. Like, that was a bit of fun. They're doing a lot of these sillier premises that sometimes do and don't work out.
What if Mo got a cell phone?
Yeah. David, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. It's been fun chatting The Simpsons, as always.
No, absolutely. And if people want to check out more of your stuff, where can they do that?
I mean, social media is a wasteland at this point, but if you can find me on Blue Sky or Instagram, I'm David B. Cooper. The Every Simpsons Character Ever project is patreon.com/David B. Cooper. You can organize by free, I think, if you're a cheapskate who just wants to see what I've been up to. Or if you want kind of a general overview of all the Simpsons nonsense I do, go to dotheartman.com.
Nice.
No, excellent. Yeah, absolutely love your work. Even I don't know if I mentioned it last time or since, but my ex-girlfriend actually bought one of your watercolor prints of Mr. Burns popping out of the birthday cake.
Oh, really?
Smithers fantasizing it. It's like, yeah.
Right, wow.
She didn't even know that you'd been on the podcast. She just thought it would be a cool idea.
She was right.
And yeah, still display that proudly over in my weird Simpsons shrine over there.
Oh, I'm honored. Thank you.
No,
I haven't done the paintings in a while, but they're good fun. I'm hoping to get back to them soon.
Oh, absolutely. Nice. And yeah, y'all should check it out because, yeah, not only the Mole Man comic, the Simpsons character every day, as well as that, the prints that you do, like the various art that's inspired by, key scenes. Like, that's just some really cool art, man.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
No worries. And BT, what if people want to hear more of us?
Well, now that this episode's basically over, they can jump on over to Starring Springfield. This is our other podcast where we review movies that star the cast of The Simpsons. And coming out just today, although probably last week by the point this one comes out, you can listen to us review Kiki's Delivery Service and butcher a whole bunch of Japanese names in the attempt, which the English dub of which has one Phil Hartman as Gigi the cat.
Yeah.
And if you really love us and you love all these wonderful voices you're hearing, you can go, of course, to patreon.com/sidequeststudios, where you will unlock well over 250 exclusive podcasts. I mean, how many Starring Springfields? I think we've eclipsed 100 episodes of that. You get to see a wide range of films that we've talked about, as well as other topics like special features on the DVDs and just general Simpsons stories.
But yeah, because Starring Springfield is both a free and a premium podcast.
I know, it's confusing.
You can get episodes early if you sign up to the Patreon, but also you get to tell us what movies to review. And yeah, I actually did a spreadsheet compiling all the potential choices, and there is actually a lot of anime that qualifies. We get actually a lot of Ghibli films that qualify for us, and yeah, this is the first one we've done.
I assume Tress MacNeille's in half of them.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
And Tress MacNeille opens the door to a lot of weird animated movies as well. So, yeah, David, do you have any favorite movies that stars a Simpsons person in it?
This is Spinal Tap, of course.
Oh, yes.
I haven't seen the new one yet, but that is one of my top 5 movies of all time by default.
Yeah. And we got to catch the 41st anniversary re-release in cinemas leading into the sequel. And yeah, getting to see that on the big screen was an absolute treat.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
With an audience, must be fun.
Oh, well, it was an interesting thing because it's not like it was a packed cinema. I'd say maybe a third full. But it was an interesting mix of because the majority of people you could tell had seen this movie before, and you got this really interesting sensation of hearing the laughs in anticipation of a bit, and then the people who'd never seen the movie before then laughing when the joke actually happens. It was this weird sort of bouncing of the reactions. And yeah, that 4K just looks gorgeous, and they did a fun. Rob Reiner did a couple of little things before and afterwards as well, and previewed a scene from the new one. So yeah, looking really forward to. Hopefully, someone asks us to review This Is Spinal Tap too.
We can just do it.
We could just do it.
Screw 'em.
we can watch.
I
other
formally
movies.
ask you to review This Is Spinal Tap too.
And who are we to disappoint David Cooper?
Exactly.
Well, to make that official, you'll have to go to patreon.com/sidequeststudios. But for now, that's it for the Simpsons Index for this week. Once again, thank you very much for joining us, David.
Thank you very much. Always a pleasure.
Absolutely. BT, thank you.
Hoy.
And I've been your host, Elliot Jay O'Neill. That's all the mustard in the future house. Ooh.
I was going to say that if you didn't, so now I'm just rambling.
Good night, everybody.
Good night. Thank you for listening to the Simpsons Index podcast, which is also an online spreadsheet available at thesimpsonsindex.com. We're also on social media. You can follow us on Blue Sky, Instagram, and on Threads. Links for all that and more are down in the show notes. And lastly, consider giving us a 5-star review. Why not? We'd do it for you. Now, there's no bonus scenes for this episode. Everything we left in was pure gold, so we'll catch you next time.